Welcome, everybody, to Monkees Podcast. It's been a whole month since the last episode. Oh, more than that now. Sorry, everybody. It's been crazy times. You know this. School suddenly got really, really complicated. Everybody was just revving up to like, hey, let's try this. Like all different sections of the school and the district, and everybody's, let's try this before spring break. And so I had like 15,000 things to juggle before spring break. So that was nice of everybody. Thanks for that. But we're back for another episode of the Monkees Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. I used to say that at the beginning and I was like, I'm going to stick with it. Thanks for tuning in. My guest today, our guest host today is Julia WD Harrison.
Oh, I'm so pumped to talk about Monkees.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yay. It's like Podfest without the in-person.
It is. Oh, Podfest.
All right, Podfest.
Somebody was telling me, oh, right. I can't remember not where I was. I was at home. That's where I was. But I was like, I was in a chat with some people. And I can't remember what comedy show. I can't remember if it was like a Never Not Funny thing or if it was In the Green Zoom thing. I can't remember. But somebody shared their in the chat room. They shared a Podfest memory. And I was like, oh, Podfest.
Feels so long ago.
It was so nice. I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. Oh,
well, we're gonna have to work on it and try and make it happen again. Oh, I apologize. We've got my dog Pizza in the background. He's also excited about the Monkees. So that's all it is.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So Julia, you were telling me before the recording your tangential relationship with the Monkees.
Yeah. So my mom was like, the Monkees were her jam. She was like waiting to watch it all the time. And for some reason, it never got to me. I was always Gilligan's Island was huge for some reason in my family, Beverly Hillbillies, even though I lived with the hillbilly side. And yeah, for some reason, I guess maybe it was just never on a lot of those, Nick at Night type channels or something, but I never caught an episode. This was literally the first time, even though I've listened to however many episodes you've probably had. I think I've listened to almost all of them. This is delightful, folks. This is a joy. I am going to be really annoying on this episode. Apologies. It's very fun. It's kind of like when you get too excited when you're on stage doing sevens with Jimmy Pardo or something, and you're like, I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool. Oh, God. I'm not cool.
I was so scared when I did sevens.
Oh, I made an idiot of myself when I got to do it once. But yeah, this is my sevens with Jimmy Pardo moment for the Monkees here.
Goodness.
So I'm like, this was wild. It's kind of like, did you ever listen to Worst Idea of All Time?
I think so. I think I've listened to a few of those, yes.
Well, I managed to make it the entire year and didn't watch Grown Ups 2 until they showed it at Cinefamily. So I listened to 52 episodes of them talking about a movie that I'd never seen. But it actually made it more interesting. So while I was watching the episode, I'm like, oh, that's what I thought they were all British because of Davy Jones.
You're the second person that said that. That is apparently that's a common misconception. It's like, oh, there's 5 of them and they're British. Like, no.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to have to start actually watching this show because it is bananas and the songs actually are awesome. I don't know why. And I love the Beatles and everything, but this is like pure, like innocent, poppy, fun. This is
wonderful.
Good. This is good stuff.
Speaking of sevens, you know who doesn't want to do my podcast because he does not care for the Monkees?
No.
Jimmy Pardo does not care for the Monkees.
Well, maybe you should just do one episode where you tell him Kiss is actually a guest star or Chicago and be like, it was the weirdest thing. You'll have to watch it to find me. Oh, it's so weird. I guess you got the edit where they weren't in it.
Maybe. Yeah, that's good. He'll love that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The bait and switch. I think that's bananas. I think I'm going to have to start an underground grassroots campaign because Jimmy Pardo, I don't think he realizes how much he and Oliver would probably love this show.
He says he's watched it numerous times. He said that like people have told him repeatedly, it's good, you should watch it. And he gives it a chance and he's like, no, thank you.
How does one like kiss and not enjoy the campiness of the Monkees?
Good question.
Hey, Jimmy Pardo,
Jimmy,
we're coming for you. You need to get on the show.
What is that about? Yeah, like Garen tried to tell him. He's like, no.
It's bananas.
It's crazy. So that's never, if Jimmy Pardo is ever on this show, that's it. I'm wrapping it up. I was like, not Mickey. No, I don't care if Mickey's on the show. It's Jimmy Pardo.
Well, why don't I let you do your intro so we can get into this?
Okay.
I have extensive notes.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. We are going to watch episode 22, Monkees at the Circus. This was broadcast February 13th, 1967, directed by Bruce Kessler, written by David Panich, produced by Robert Rafelson and Bert Schneider, associate producer Rod Sylvester, a Raybert production. The Monkees used their unique talents to save an old-fashioned circus from extinction. Extinction is the word. Production notes. Monkees at the Circus was filmed in December 1966. The song Mickey sings to Mike several times, it's great, it's terrific, it's the best show on earth, is an old quote-unquote big top TV theme. The show in question, Circus Boy, was the vehicle that helped launch Dolenz' acting career in the mid-50s. Songs, Sometime in the Morning, Jerry Goffin and Carole King, and She, Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart. And I think that's it for the notes. Let me check the second page. Nope, that's it. All right, so Monkees at the Circus. This weirdly is an episode that like I don't remember seeing a lot as a kid. It's like it was like not as in the rotation of syndication or something. It's very strange. I have no memories of watching this episode as a child. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I told you multiple times, I'm like, why literally, this is the only episode I've ever seen.
Right,
so I have vivid memories of seeing it.
I don't know what I thought you were going to say there, but
I was going to say, I'm like, well, I mean, we can talk about the Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island, but I mean,
yes.
I don't know. I can't.
Gosh, I love this. Okay, so yeah, but Monkees at the Circus. Again, back in the day, I don't think it's on MeTV anymore. When I started like a year ago, this was you could find Monkees episodes on MeTV and on Sling, but I don't see it on Sling. I don't see it on MeTV anymore either. Are they still on DirecTV? Who knows? But I think if you search a tube, you could probably find it. All right, so we're going to take a break, refresh our memory. You watch the episode.
I'm gonna watch it again.
Yes, Julia's gonna watch it again. You don't have to watch the episodes.
I'm proof of that.
Yes, exactly. And it's fine. It's totally fine. You know how many episodes of what is it? Bayside? What was the
Go Bayside?
Go Bayside. Never watched a single episode.
Oh my goodness.
But
really?
listened to the whole podcast. Loved it. Loved every episode. No, never watched. No interest in watching that show.
Well, Zach Morris is trash.
Yes, so. Exactly. All right, so we'll be back, everybody. See ya. Bye. And we're back. Okay, so Julia.
Yes.
You expressed a concern about the names of the boys.
Well, not so much that, but I now have fully formed faces for all of them. Where Peter, I was like, I didn't know who he was because he's like cardboard.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time on the Monkees podcast. This has been Kara McCullough. Thanks.
Bye. So
wow.
He's bland.
He had nothing to do this episode. That's probably why I don't remember this episode as a kid, because there was barely any Peter in it.
Yeah, Peter had not much to do. Mickey, I mostly remember because I know his face from Difficult People.
Oh, awesome! Is that where he was like the like I'm Mickey motherfucking Dolenz? Is it?
Yeah.
I've seen that clip online.
Well, and so when I remembered seeing him on there, I'm like, oh, that's Mickey Dolenz. I got that face. I know it's a very distinctive face.
Yes.
And then I'm like, that guy has got a jawline for days. Man, it's a good face. I enjoy that.
Yes.
And then the cute and underrated one, Mike, which what the heck is everybody doing? Lusting over Davy.
Okay, when you said cute, I automatically rushed down Davy, but then you said underrated, and I was like, wait, Davy's not underrated. What's happening? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Kick Davy to the back. We're going to put Mike up front, then Mickey, and then we've got Davy and Peter. They can get to the back of the line.
Again, unfair. Just a bad episode. You really don't have the full Peter experience, but that's okay.
Well, I'm going to actually try and watch more of these now that I realize how enjoyable they were. You don't have to, but oh boy, when you talk about you describe the scenes very well, because as soon as some of these type of jokes started happening, I'm like, oh, that's what I pictured, but I didn't think it'd be this funny. So,
oh, it's good stuff. There are a lot of really bad jokes in this one, though. Like some of them, I was like, I'm not writing that down. Nah, I'm not going to waste the ink. All right, so let's do. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Monkees at the Circus. All right, so we start and we have your generic circus music, but do you know what that piece of music is called, Julia?
Oh God, I have no idea.
It is called Entry of the Gladiators. Entry of the Gladiators. That's what that music. Yeah, I was looking it up on YouTube because I couldn't remember the title. I was like, oh, it's Entry of the something. And YouTube,
I would have said elephants. I would have literally said anything other than
you guys, everybody, you all have to check out the YouTube comments because it's so many people going, composer, warriors marching in, the rest of the world, clowns, you know.
Oh my God. Oh, that's glorious.
Gladiators. Yeah. So that's supposed, I mean, if you take the circus out of your brain, you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of a badass kind of march, but you got that doop, boop, boop, doop, and then that kills it.
Oh my God.
All right. So Entry of the Gladiators.
I'm never going to think of it the same way. Oh, that's glorious.
It's Gladiators. That poor composer, I can't remember his name. It's like Frick or something, or Fritz. I don't know. Anyway, poor dude. Sorry, dude. Your composition is circus music now. And we have some, like, I'm assuming these are stock footage of circuses. I kind of doubt that they went out and found a circus.
Oh boy, no.
So we have some stock circus shots. And
this was all one location shooting.
Oh yeah. Yes, you're right. They did. They had one set. Yeah, it's like we're all in here. We're in set. What do you call them? Hangars? What are they? I don't know. I don't know what they're called. Studio? They're not studios, are they? What are they called? Those big.
Well, look, we both work in Hollywood. We know all the industry terms. We just don't want to share them.
Oh, that's right. It's a secret. Anyway, they were just at Studio 5B the whole time.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, we hear the music and then they're just like wandering around, like clearly where they should not be because I don't think the circus is open yet because it's a sign that says closed.
Well, you're supposed to snick around, right?
Right. And then Peter suggests that they just sneak in. And first of all, the closed sign is just like on the ground. Like isn't it on the ground? I feel like it was like on the ground. It was pretty low to the ground. So
look, I will tell you, there's probably a million details I couldn't get. They are throwing so much at you at all times where I'm going, I wish I would have watched this as a child. There's so much happening. It's colorful. I'd have to watch this 5 more times to get everything that they probably put into this.
Yeah, so I think, okay, yeah, true. I had to pause it a couple times to write stuff down. So, So Peter says snick, and Mike's like, what are you talking about? It's sneak. Sneak. I sneak, you sneak, we sneak. And then Peter says, oh, so we'll all get in. Boo. I don't like that joke.
I didn't like it either, but
that was the one
laughed.
I was like, I'm not writing this down. I just remembered it from memory.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I laughed out loud and I'm like, I hate this.
That is an appropriate reaction.
There's another one of those, and I wrote it down, but I still was like, I'm not happy about this.
Yeah, not the best writing on this episode. All right, so they sneak into a circus, and I'm like, boo! I'm not on your side anymore, Monkees. This is terrible. You don't just sneak into places. That boo. I don't. Ugh. So that's the second boo right off. We're like a minute in, and I'm not on their side. Mickey immediately goes for like the juggling pins. I guess those are called. There are barrels. I think Peter picks up a big old megaphone thingy. And
I couldn't believe Mickey was like sort of juggling. That's better than what I would have done. So.
Yeah, he was doing a good job. Well, because he was on that show Circus Boy, I'm sure they.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I'm going, what is this an inside joke?
Isn't it weird? You can tell when it's an inside joke. You're like, this means something.
But... I mean, he mentioned it several times. I'm like, we get it, but just tell me.
He was Circus Boy.
Well, also the thing that I found weird was I'm like, this is 1967. What old TV shows? I mean, there wasn't so much television that you're like, well, it's an old show. It
was from the 50s. He was a child. It makes sense. They dyed his hair blonde, by the way, when he was a baby. When he was a little kid on that show, they dyed his hair blonde.
Mickey, no.
Probably looked better in black and white. I don't know, but yeah, TV was weird. All right, so, somebody picks up a whip at some point. You should not be touching these things. But, just so entitled. They just walk in. She's like, oh, let's play with this stuff. Golly.
Oh, they walked in like they own the place.
Exactly. And then you see like this guy that turns out to be Victor, just like somewhere in a different dimension, I guess, glowering at them because he's never on. I don't think he's ever on screen with them at the same time in this opening. I don't think he is. Oh,
God, this guy. I wanted to throw him in a volcano. How are you going to work at a circus and be the biggest wet blanket on the...
He's the worst. He is the worst. So he's angry. It's like, you're trespassing. Oh, he's got a point. And then Davy walks up to the knife board. And I have to tell you, this was the same knife board as a previous episode when they were with the quote unquote, forgive me, gypsies. Was what they were called in the episode.
Right.
With that camp, and they were trying to initiate them in, and they were throwing knives at Davy. Why is Davy always the one that has knives thrown at him? Is it because he's short? They were like, oh, let's throw knives at the short kid. Anyway, so the Victor is throwing knives at him, and Davy's doing his good stand still and look scared squirminess. He's good at it. He's a good actor. And I wrote again. And then he's like, you're trespassing. And he threatens to call the police on them, which, I don't know. That just struck me as weird now. I'm like, don't do that, dude.
Before you get too far, I mean, the one thing that I noticed immediately is they will do an entire costume change for a one-line joke that actually didn't need the costume thing. I mean,
true.
There's so much to unpack.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you have a podcast for this because I mean, sometimes you're like, I don't know what to do with all this information. Help me.
Yeah. There's like, they go into like weird fantasy worlds. And then you're like, not sure. It's like, is this in their head or is this real? Like, oh, other people see them. Oh, okay. All right. It's like, you don't know.
Oh my God, I've got a million questions.
Like, where is this happening? Is this real? Is this? Yeah. This episode, maybe, again, another strike against this episode. Very confusing when they change. Like, is this happening in real life or not? I can't tell.
Well, and honestly, at first, I thought Susan, we find out her name's Susan later, the, Betty of the episode. And I thought that Victor was her father, the way she was talking to him at first and this and that. And then later on, I guess it's some old guy who's walking around.
Yeah, that's the father. Yeah. Huh, I never noticed that.
Maybe I'm the only one. Hey guys, stay out of my mentions about the Monkees at the circus, okay?
Clearly, Pops was the father figure. Could not have been Victor. All right, so, Mickey has one of my favorite lines, and I feel like he said this before. You'll do it, and I'll be sorry.
Sorry.
I love that.
I wrote that one down.
So good.
I'm absolutely going to try and start using that. That was chef's kiss. I loved it.
He delivers it so well. So good. And then Davy's like scared, and Mike comes up to him because Mike is the dad of the group. I don't know if you caught that, but Mike is everybody's dad.
Huh.
And he's like, why didn't you help me? He's like, oh, I didn't want to antagonize him. And then final knife throw, take to camera. Whoa, and then we have our opening.
That's one thing they do have in common with Saved by the Bell, if we're going to be honest here, is these weird breaking of the fourth wall.
Yes,
sometimes.
Constantly. Well, just so often that I don't even notice it anymore.
I need to start watching this, I guess. I mean, I was doing a lot before in my brain, but they're doing much more on screen than I anticipated.
Yeah. See, there's so many things that I just let go. I mean, we could talk about what they're wearing. I didn't even write down what they were wearing. I know Peter was wearing that weird orange velour sweater thing that I don't care for. Yeah,
a lot of 60s fashion.
Oh, so much. And this is not even the word. Second season. Wait till second season. Y'all have no idea. Okay, so we have our first season opening, and then we come back to Victor talking to all the circus performer people, and I'm like, is this a union meeting? What's happening? I feel like it's a union meeting. And the Monkees are there in the middle of this meeting for no good reason.
Just hanging out.
I thought he told them to leave, and why doesn't Victor say, hey, you guys?
I
told you to get out of here.
I would love to have been in the writer's room when everyone's just pitching stuff and they're like, I don't know, just make it.
Yeah, somebody's like, but why are they still, shut up. We're just making a show. Yeah, so he's talking about the circus is dead. There's no more audiences. We're going to leave because the circus is dead, I guess. Total bummer. Victor is a bummer. And then the girl is like, but Victor, no, don't. I don't know. I don't remember what she says. I don't remember.
She was honestly, the only thing more cardboard was this woman who was like the generic kind of hot where you're like, I don't even see you. You just look like a symmetrical, slightly like what's
just her brown
average
hair and a ponytail, maybe. I don't even remember what her hair was.
Oh boy, it was just generic hot thing.
She had big eyes. I think that was what she had big eyes, right? Was that what they were trying to accentuate?
I don't know. She would have been better on Gilligan's Island is what I'm thinking. Get her out of here. It was like,
she was like a Mary Ann.
I was going to say, it was like they couldn't get the actress who played Mary Ann. So they're like, can we get someone like that who's kind of farm girl?
Yeah. Is it Dawn Wells? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Dawn Wells.
Yeah, I think she just died recently.
Aww.
Apologies.
Yeah, for peace, Dawn Wells.
Yes, rest in power, baby.
Oh yeah, Dawn Wells. Okay, so yeah.
Well, her name's not Dawn Good.
No,
she's well.
Oh yeah, she's an adverb. She's an adverb. She's not an adjective. Oh my gosh, that must have been so annoying. How you doing, Dawn? Are you doing well? Oh my gosh, do you imagine?
No, I'm doing well. No. Okay.
So many times she must have heard that. So Davy follows the sad girl, as Davy does.
Oh boy.
And then promises everything will be okay.
You don't even know these people.
You just met her.
Hi, we're going to save the circus. What?
But then that's not enough. He says, if it doesn't work out, you can personally feed me to the lions. Davy.
Well, also, I think this might have already been the second time they made some joke about throwing someone to the lions.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot. In the opening, when Peter picks up the megaphone, immediately turns into a gun with sound effects.
Somebody was really enjoying all these. Like, someone got whipped later on in the episode, and they were like, whoopsh, whoopsh. And like making all these goofy noises that they don't make, or it was a boing or something. It's bananas.
Yeah, so
the show is amazing.
Big sound effects right out the gate. Just
they're taking huge swings. I mean, I'm here for it.
Oh man, but just like the constant gun stuff just totally throws me now. I'm like, wow, we just did not. We don't. We clearly do not care about guns. Okay, so let's see. You can feed me to the lions. All right, so then Davy gets on stage. And I don't know, I was looking down at my notes. Does Mike or somebody like give him a look like, what are you doing? Get off the stage. Is that my imagination?
No, I think you're right. And and you would be right to make those faces at him. What are you doing?
What is this?
You don't know any of these people. You're, as they say multiple times, rock and rollers. What? How the hell did we even end up at the circus? Have you been to a circus? They're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like where is
for
this
a reason, and they're just wandering around wearing somewhat matching clothes, but in different colors, being I don't know. But we're gonna save your circus. Let me get up here and talk to all these people.
That's right. They said the reason why, nobody's coming to the circus. It's like, they want to go to the discotheque and listen to rock and roll. That's what killed the circus.
They said discotheque so many times. And also as if that's the place where the Monkees were being played.
Oh, of course.
No, at the discotheque.
Yeah, that's where, everybody at the discos loved the Monkees. And that's where the circus, you try to get a kid to go to the circus. No, I want to go to the whiskey. What?
I'm sorry, I'd rather be at the discotheque than the circus, Mummy.
I don't think that's
I am a rock and roller. Oh my God. Oh wait, can we get to this part where they're overhearing? So they're overhearing the what was it, Victor, and talking to Susan's dad, I guess. Yeah. And then another quick change for a joke where they're suddenly all wearing matching outfits.
Okay, we will get there. Get there. Hold on. Yes, I have something to say about those outfits. Okay.
Oh, boy.
But the one thing, true friendship, once Davey gets on stage and gives his speech, the Monkees have his back. They're like, yeah, listen to the kid. Yeah, do what he says. Yeah, they have his back because they are good boys. And so Susan, that's her name? Yeah, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Susan says, thank you, Davey. And then I think Peter says, you didn't have to do that. No more than any other poor lovesick fool would have done.
Yeah, he's got little heart emojis in his eyes. Just
Yes, definitely. I wrote down crowds before rock and roll. Okay. Is this, we have another fantasy fling because she asks, what do they do? Right after she says, the crowd's like rock and roll. What do you guys do? And they're like, we're brain surgeons. And then they're all in scrubs except for Mike.
It's a farmer.
It's a farmer. And he's like, I pick cotton in the off seasons, And
oh God, I love that. I mean, it was so stupid. I mean, they didn't need the costume change. The joke alone would have been it would have been even funnier. I venture if he would have just done the accent thing and been like, I'm a farmer kind of thing.
Yes. And then Mickey asks him to do the farm report. And Mike starts doing the farm report. And there's a little voice, cotton in it's just in it, and I think you can see Peter start to giggle. It's clearly an improv scene. There's
no way they weren't having fun making this show. It was for sure.
It was very cute. And then now Pete picks up the megaphone again, and now we're in Fantasy Circus Land.
Oh boy.
So Fantasy Circus Land, I actually kind of like this bit. So Pete is what do you call it? The
ringmaster?
Thank you. I was like, the circus master? I don't know. Yeah, the ringmaster. Which aside, that was my brilliant idea for a Halloween costume when I was about 9 or 10. You know what people don't recognize a kid dressed up as?
Well, especially you probably had no one else to help you with the costume. So, usually that might be a group costume.
Yeah.
I'm the only one in this circus. I'm running all the people of this circus. I have no one in my circus.
Ridiculous. But I just thought that outfit was so cool. Like that. I mean, it's a cool outfit. I stand by that. I had a little top hat and everything, boots. But
I would pay good money to see this photo.
I don't know. My mom must have it somewhere. But
we need it. If you find it, just be like, sorry, this is in reference to an old episode. Get caught up. You'll love it.
I will. But yeah.
Oh boy.
I was a genius kid. God, just the worst.
Well, so was this the part? I think you needed someone dressed as a lion to come with you. And so one of the guys did they just comb their hair like Cousin It over their face? Or was that it?
His lion costume is, but I love it so much.
Oh,
so Mike
high
and Mickey,
end and also discount at the same time somehow.
Mike and Mickey are the lion and the tamer, or tamer and lion.
Oh boy.
And it's this like almost like a not Mardi Gras, but what is it, like the masquerade style mask
where it was just the top hat. The top half of the face, with
he's all furry, and he's still got his green hat on. And
maybe they didn't know what they needed for this until the day of shooting.
I think it's funnier this way. It's so funny. It is hilarious because he's just standing there, just leaning next to Mickey as Mickey goes on, and he's like, "Wait, a trick? What trick?" Mike's like, and Mickey's like, "No, the trick that I taught you." What? It's Mickey and Mike are really funny together. I just gotta say,
I definitely. That's what I'm telling you. That's why they are my new favorites. They come up to the front, putting the other two in the back. I'm telling you, we got the comedy duo up top.
I'm here good for it. So, and then Mike tells him, "I've been working for you for, I can't remember how many years, 20-something years. You're going to do the trick." And like makes Mickey go through the hoop. And it's very cute. And then Pete introduces Davy as the Great Zambezi, that he's going to be hanging by his teeth with no net.
For like 3 inches from the ground.
And he's like, they show him, and he's like hanging by his teeth. And then he's like, and they cut to Mickey and Mike sitting as Tamer and Lion, looking up, like all excited, like, ooh, like the audience.
But then he still had wires.
Yes!
So then they still just show you he's not actually hanging by his teeth.
So I kind of love it.
Jokes on jokes.
I love it. It's like, he's three inches off the ground. That's not anything. Wait, no, but he's still in a harness and now he's floating. What? Oh, you got me, show. You got me.
I actually really enjoyed that. It was one of those, I'm like, what are we doing? Of course he's, oh no. Oh, another layer. Oh boy.
Oh, I love it so much. That might be just my favorite part of the whole episode right there. That's it.
No, I've got the next part that.
Oh yes. Okay.
Hopefully we're to these mozzarella brothers.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So now we overhear Victor, the union leader, the union representative, has made a petition. I don't even remember what's in the petition. They're going to leave again. I don't even know what's on the petition. Did they have?
Oh, I thought it was something that they needed more money. They needed to.
What did they need?
I don't know. But
how are they going to get more money if there's no audience? I don't understand.
So how are you going to promote and be like, suddenly we've got a new act and
that's just
circus.
The whole thing is. This is where I'm on Susan's side at this point. Yeah. But and so Susan says, "Oh, but you can't leave." And then somebody, and I don't remember who, says, "Oh, you like those emotional types." Was that sarcasm? Because she was not emotional.
No, honestly, she had just doe eyes the whole time. Literally one emotion. I think she was, other than making out, the rest of it was just her being like, oh, I'm just Susan walking around in my farm girl clothes.
Right.
Like it's Little House on the Prairie.
So if that was supposed to be like sarcastic, like she's not emotional, it did not land. And if it was serious, like she is emotional, that's like really like misogynistic and weird. So I don't understand that joke.
It's the late 60s. We've learned a lot. We're trying to do better.
It's very strange. And so, so then the boys appear one at a time with sound effects. Bing, bong, bing, bong. These are the same costumes, by the way.
Yeah.
As I think they were the 4 Martians in an earlier episode. The guys that had the stockings pulled over their faces, but they were literally wearing, I think, that red thing and then the gold lame over it. I think it's exactly the same.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like,
I've heard gold lame mentioned on this show so many times. I'm like, did we just have a gold lame budget?
No, gold lame was in. Gold lame was the shit, I think. That was some stylish stuff. So they appear and then they're all doing these ridiculous accents that I can't tell if it's supposed to be French or Italian.
So no, okay. This is where I had to pause it I ran it back. I had a moment with this part of the episode.
Let me know. All right, what's up?
Okay, well, this is what I tried to get out of it. So everyone is doing French accents, and then except for Mike, who's still doing his Southern farmer.
Yes.
But pretending that he is French, like, it'd be like if I was like, y'all, man, I'm from Paris, France. And, I went to the Sorbonne and went to the Louvre. You got to take out some paintings because that's what we Parisians be doing. You're like, wait, what? What are we? So he's still doing that. And then half of them are saying they're from the toast of Paris. And then one of them says, we're from Montreal. And then my favorite line is, so Victor said, what are you doing here? And the other one so they're supposed to be from France is saying we were on our way to Belgium.
Belgium, yes. Peter's.
I don't want to school you in geography, Carmen Sandiego style, my boys, but
I love that. Well,
that's a great geography joke. I thoroughly enjoyed all that.
Yes.
Mike, oh boy,
this is a running bit. This is something that I did not notice until I was like reading up on monkey fandom stuff in my adulthood, that there's a running bit that Mike can't do accents. Anytime
he's got one.
Anytime the boys are all trying to do an accent, Mike can't do it. So again, I wrote down Mike's bad accent.
I was going to say that's like Dave Anthony doing, I'm from France, I am. You know, you're like, yeah, Mike, well, nailed it.
That's exactly, yes.
Mike is the Dave Anthony. He's got one accent. He can say a few things like that. And let's move on.
Oh, yeah. So the Mozzarella brothers, brothers.
I don't think Mike's given enough credit for actually how funny it is that whole accent bit. Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it. He's my actor of the episode. That even if he can't do the accents, he made it work for him. I loved it.
It's so good. Yeah.
I loved it.
And he's like, he's got this look on his face and he's like twisting his little mustache and just.
I mean, could you imagine if I were in a beret and the Benetton stripes and all that, smoking a cigarette and being like, looking very French, but being like, y'all, man, I'm from down south. And you're like, wait, what? And committing to the bit. He commits.
So committed. Yes.
I loved it.
It's fantastic. Oh, but there is a good joke in here where they're describing their act. They do a high wire act. And Victor says, do you use a net? And Peter says, no, just a little spray, and kind of poofs his hair a bit. Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, he did that thing that Texas women do where they push the bottom of the hair up a little bit. Like, that
was perfect.
I know I give Peter a hard time. Peter, I saw you. I saw you doing that. I enjoyed that.
Yes, just a little spray.
I apologize for calling him a nerd.
Yeah, nerd. I still don't.
Once again, I need to be fair. I'll actually watch another episode. You'll have to recommend a really good one where Peter gets some stuff to do.
Yes. Okay. I have it. Yeah, I know which one. Okay. So they're like, oh, okay, great. Yeah, that's great. We'll see you at the circus. I don't know the time in this episode. Is that tomorrow, tonight? I don't even know.
Clue.
No idea.
It feels like weeks.
And they're like, yay, we did it. And I wrote down idiots. So stupid. And only Susan is like, you morons. People are going to show up expecting to see the mozzarella.
But she was still so horny for all these guys in like a very wholesome way. Like, yes, I'm here for this, but you guys are idiots.
Yes. So they're like, yay, we saved the circus. Do. And they just saunter off full of being pleased with themselves. They're just full of it. And so now they're hanging out with the other circus performers. So we meet the sword swallower. Gosh, that's hard to say.
You could say it like sword swallower. If you say it like that, it's
swallower. Okay, so
that's the only way I get away with doing certain things like that. When I'm like, oh, I'm not going to say this correctly. Well, I'll put a little swallower.
Oh, that's a good.
It's my tip for you.
Thank you.
Anyone out there, you're allowed to do that too. Have fun with it.
We had a pastor. It just, the word sword takes me back to my childhood. We had a pastor that would literally pronounce it sword.
Oh no.
And I remember like my parents like making fun, laughing about it behind his back. Like when we get home, sword, he says sword. And so now like I panic every time I see that word. I'm like, oh no.
Don't worry. There are plenty of things that I do that with. I try to, I'll be like, the really long knife.
That's it. Just a big old dagger, huge dagger, really long. A katana.
Yeah. There we go.
The katana consumer. So
honestly, they should rebrand. I love it.
Katana consumer. Well, it sounds like you're buying a katana. You got to come up with a different. Anyway, so Mike is hanging out with the sword swallower. I'm sure there's a joke there. I don't know what it was. Is he just staring at him? I have no idea. No, I think he's just staring at him, going, "Oh my gosh, he's swallowing a sword. It's crazy."
Yeah, and then they show that it's one of those collapsible.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, it's a trick."
But later on, it doesn't look like it is.
Yeah, or Mike forgot. I don't know. Mickey is hanging out with, I wrote juggler, although I don't, is it the lady? It's the lady, right?
Oh, no, she had like those devil stick looking things with the.
Yeah. Oh, she's juggling hoops with him. That's what it is.
Yeah, but there was also one of those giant things. It looks like a huge yo-yo where they.
Yeah. She was doing that later on in the music. That was kind of cool. I enjoyed that.
It's a lot of fun costumes and whatnot, and people just chewing up the background scenery, just doing their best to like, hey, I hope this gets me my SAG card.
Yes, please.
Can I say something?
Yeah, they did have a lot of lines. You're right. They could have just been roaming, but they each had a line. Pete's hanging with the strong man, and Davy is hanging out with the little person clown. Each one of these people says, "Hey, did you hear? The Mozzarella Brothers are coming."
As if they'd heard of them before.
Yes, as if the known act from France, the Mozzarella Brothers.
Well, and also mozzarella, doesn't that make you think of Italy?
That's why I was confused as to what accent they were doing.
For sure. Even going back knowing this information doesn't make it better, but it does make it funnier.
The Mozzarella Brothers from France, So, yeah. And so now they're like, oh no, what have we done? Idiots. So stupid. So, oh yeah. And there's a bit where like, the strong man was pretending that the weight is heavy, and then Pete just picks it up and, that's funny. I don't remember and Mickey like does the take to camera when the juggler lady says the Mozzarella Brothers are coming, and drops the hoops. That's his big take. I don't remember what Davy's thing was.
All
right.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I'm like, well, I know that he just kept getting involved with the knives, but I don't remember what he was,
he was
doing
while the clown guy.
And there were, for a short show, there were a lot of like that whole high wire hijinks thing. That was long for a half-hour show or whatever. That took way too long.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just got like a text. Forgive me, everybody.
Do you think?
So it's about the dog.
Do you need a puppy pause?
Yeah. Let's take a puppy pause, everybody. Listen to I'm Gonna Buy Me a Dog during the I'm gonna buy me. All right, puppy pause. We'll be right back. And we're back. The dog is fed, everybody. Dog is fed. Okay. So the boys, now they're panicked. Oh no, they're going to expect the Mozzarella Brothers. We had no idea that would happen. So now they're going to practice.
Oh, here. Pizza, he heard you talking about dogs and he's got excited again, I think.
Oh, Pizza.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Pizza doesn't respect podcasting, and we're still dealing with it.
That's okay, Pizza. There's too many podcasts. I agree, Pizza.
Says somebody here, me, who started a podcast this year. Oh boy.
pizza.
So we got,
Okay,
what do we got? High wire?
Yeah, so now, I kind of stopped taking notes on this one too, because I'm like, okay, they're on a high wire. There's all this, what do you call it? Like ADR, all this like, oh no, Pete, hold on. Oh, look out. It's just.
They were having fun with different filtered things. So then they
effects.
they did that thing, which was the old way that they would do ghosts before, where it's like, whoa, we're walking through each other. Good Lord.
Right. It's so weird. Yeah. Just the strangest effect. And then like they reverse film of Pete falling. And then we have Davey floating again on the harness. And
it was a lot.
Yeah.
This wasn't, I think it might have been later, or was it during this whole scene where they were doing the water in the hat thing?
Oh, that is
or is that later?
That's later.
Okay.
So so Susan is sad and dismayed because they're terrible.
But you couldn't tell because she has no expression.
I thought she was doing good. They kept cutting to her going, oh my gosh. Oh,
well, but it's difficult because she was already sad at the very beginning because the circus might shut down or something. So it was hard to really gauge when I'm like, well, if you're already sad, Susan,
that's true.
From the beginning, how am I supposed to tell what you're actually like? Or
this was more like exasperated. She had her hands on her face a lot. This is an exasperated sadness. Let's see. And so then Davey finally admits to Susan, Susan, I gotta tell you the truth. We're really rock and rollers. And then now
rock and rollers, baby.
And then Victor overhears them this time. Aha! Oh ho! I got you. Everybody, get in here. And they're all right outside. Apparently. Oh, what's going on? You know, the circus of 10 people. They all come right in. They're frauds. They're rock and roll singers. And Victor, that's it. I hate it. I don't know what Victor says. He leaves.
He was just being a wet blanket elsewhere.
Yeah. And then the Monkees leave. The performers are like, oh, guess we'll go home and pack. But the performers are like,
I know.
That's it. The end. And then Susan is crying. Everybody just walks out on Susan crying.
But Susan, now that you know that we're rock and rollers, how about we cheer you up with what we do best?
Clowning.
Well, I mean, that's not far off.
Yeah. So Davey's like, oh, we can't leave her crying. Come on. And so then we have Sometime in the Morning, which is a lovely little song.
I liked both of the songs in this episode. I was surprised at how much I'm like, man, should I be listening to the Monkees music?
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
I can't believe I missed all this, especially because my mom is such a huge fan. I'm like, you kind of dropped the ball on this. I would have been the only kid who was like, I'm cool. You guys don't know who the Monkees are. And yet, here we are. I had to wait till I'm almost 40.
It's all right. It's never too late. Never too late. So this is their cute clowning bit where Davey, they're like wind up clowns, not clouds. And Davey has like a big key and like winds each one of them up. And then we cut to like Mickey drumming and singing the song. And then we come back to, the circus performers have come back from packing, I guess. And they're watching now. And then they're doing like wacky wind up clown robot bits. But Davey does a cute picking up the hat bit, which I actually am impressed with. Did you notice his little kicking the hat away? He leans down to pick up his hat and kicks it.
Well, like the Charlie Chaplin type thing.
Yes, it's very good, Davey. It's very good at it.
I honestly, I'm telling you, this episode is, I'm sure, probably like most of them, you would need to watch more than once to be like, did you catch everything though? They're throwing so much at you.
Yeah. There's a lot. So I enjoy Davey's
cute.
Chaplin bit. Yeah. They cut back to the boys singing the song or performing or lip syncing or whatever it is. And this is the moment where girls around the world fell in love with Michael Nesmith. Why? Because we get like the camera's panning from boy to boy as they're, performing the song. And Mike is looking very pensive and into his guitaring. And then he looks at the camera, gives a little wink.
I loved that so much. Oh my God. I was like, yeah, this is the dreamboat of this episode. Are you kidding me?
That wink. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. Be still my heart. I melted just a little bit and I'm like, oh my God. Was that for me?
Did you just what?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I wrote wink in all caps with stars around it. The wink. I couldn't remember what episode the wink was in. It's this one. All right. Then we cut back to the clowns. They're doing a bit with the chalkboard that explodes. I don't know what that is.
If I couldn't explain half of what happened in this episode.
But the other performers, the circus performers, like, oh, they find that very funny. And then Peter and Davy sit down with Susan while Davy and Peter and Mike sit down while Davy and Mickey do like a clowning bit with washboards, like they're washing clothes but flinging water on each other. It's a cute thing with filling a hat with water. And
yeah, this was I guess they must do this a lot based on what I've heard and now have seen, but there's so much vaudeville type, like you said, the Charlie Chaplin bit with the hat, and then we're doing all these. It reminded me of like the beginning of Singing in the Rain, where they talk about their old act, where it's just all this like silly, over the top stuff, but just, I mean, like not abusive Three Stooges type thing, where it's just a lot of like fun physical gags, but it's all in good fun. And honestly, I do love that. With the hat, we're passing it around. Oh, I'm gonna put it on you, and then puts water on himself. And
yes, Mickey is so good, just being the dummy. He's just like so confused, like, how did I put water on myself? It's so good. And we cut back to the boys singing the song, and you can see that Peter is a little bit in love with Davy on this song. He keeps looking over at Davy while he's singing backing vocals.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, so how much is Davy usually the lead singer? Because it looks like Mike was, or
Mickey.
Mickey. Yeah.
It was split up a lot. Davy.
Okay, so it's sort of like the Beatles, where not everyone, it was not always the same lead, but maybe.
Yeah, it was Mickey did a lot and Davy did a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, Mickey was like getting a lot of FaceTime, and I'm like, damn, you go, drummer. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you. Not since Ringo Starr as a drummer been like, and I'm here too.
Yeah, Mickey has a great rock and roll voice. I think he's an underrated rock and roll singer.
Well, if I ever get the chance to go travel back in time to the 60s, there's a couple of things I'd do first, but one of them would be to be absolutely obsessed with the Monkees. Yes. And be like, we're the same age. This isn't weird now.
Yeah, time. Oh boy. Yeah, time is weird, everybody. This is very confusing. All right. And then Mickey does like the whole, I'm coming to get you, everybody. And Davy runs to the audience and like, oh no, he's going to throw water on them all. Oh, it's just confetti. Bwomp, bwomp, bwomp. And then the performers have their own awkward ad-libbing where they seem like circus folks. Yeah, they're very good. You seem like real show folks. Let's do a show.
Oh, it was so weird. They're like, now we're all re-energized. Let's do this. Well, you guys decided you based all of your future on whether or not these mozzarella brothers were going to be performing. You'd never heard about them before, but you were super pumped. Realize, no, it's just it's just the Monkees, famous rock and rollers we'd never noticed or recognized or anything.
Well, in the show, they're a struggling band that never make it. That's one of the beauty. That's one of the beauties. No, that's one of the things I love about the show is that they never make it. They're not famous.
Oh, so they're just supposed to be like a touring, like goofy rock band. That's well, how? Okay, local to where?
Los Angeles. They're in Malibu. They live in Malibu.
Where was this circus then?
Good question. Ontario? I don't know where the circus is.
Well, that's what I mean, because I'm like, okay, I guess they're in Los Angeles based on, the intro and based on the ending where you kind of see them waving.
Oh, that's right. They start with their car. You're right. They start with them driving.
Yeah, but
where were they going?
I don't know.
Belgium. They were going to Belgium. I forgot. They were on their way to Belgium.
First, we have to drive across that pesky Atlantic Ocean. But I just had this. Oh, yeah, I guess the amount of things that I don't know about the Monkees is extravagant. There's just too much.
That's a good point. You brought that up right away. I was like, I have no idea where the circus is. But I do like the way that bothered somebody, and so they thought we have to start and end the episode with the monkey mobile.
Oh wait,
somebody was like, no, we've got to make them drive to this circus.
Oh my God. Yeah, I couldn't figure out why it was starting out like that. And I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so they're a traveling band, because haven't they been on ships and they're all over the place? I mean, different.
Yeah.
Okay. I got questions.
They're a struggling band. They never make it. That's why they're auditioning for things. They're always okay. We'll come back to this. The reality of the Los Angeles scene. All right. Okay. So now we cut to so like, yay, we'll do the show today or tonight or whatever. So then we cut to more stock footage of crowds and elephants and whatnot, and
I know the stock footage that they used was bananas, because it felt like they only had, we've only got like 3 usable frames for this. We'll just make them stand up and sit down really quickly.
The crowd looked like they were from like the 1940s. Like,
oh boy, it was a lot.
And they just like, yay, we stand. Oh, we sit. Yay, we stand. Oh, we sit. Yeah. Insane. Pops is the ringmaster, and he's introducing random it's very confusing what he's saying. I think the word peripatetic. I don't know what that word is. What is that word?
Well, you know what? You said it better than I could.
Peripatetic. I have to look it up now because it's bothering me. Peripatetic. Oh, I said it right. Peripatetic. Traveling from place to place. Oh, that's what that means. Okay. But it's just like a fun word that, I imagine like carnival barkers use a lot because it's just fun to say. Anyway, I just noticed that the peripatetic.
Yeah, honestly, I still don't know what you said, but I am with you.
Peripatetic. It's a fun word.
I'm going to have to try and start using it in everyday speech and be like, you know what? I'm still trying to get my mouth around this word because it's more peripatetic.
He's a peripatetic katana consumer. Anyway, so then Pops introduces the knife act, and Susan is the living target, is the phrase he uses.
Oh boy.
And then he introduces Victor, and there's the fanfare.
Oh wait, what you don't know about Pops is Susan's his least favorite child. You don't see her brothers and sisters. God, he's still pissed at Susan for something.
Is that why she's the living target?
Yeah, I don't know. Why not?
So, and then Victor's not coming out, and Pops has no chill. Pops doesn't know how to stretch or vamp. He just keeps trying to reintroduce, and Victor. And here's Victor.
Okay, this was hilarious. So he introduces him, and then he's like, eh. And then he doesn't even give a pause because they spent too much time on that high wire act scene. So to fill our 23 and a half minutes or whatever. And then, yeah, so Pops doesn't even give him a second chance. He's like, we cut to the curtain. Nobody's coming out. Okay, soon, Victor. You're like, well, no vamping skills.
God.
You're literally the ringmaster. This is what you do.
Come on, sir. Pops.
Embarrassing.
Jeez, you had all those words for the peripatetic person, Use a whole bunch more words for Victor.
Well, this is why Susan's still mad at Pops, even though she loves him. There's this whole backstory. I'm telling you, the other kids were, it's a whole thing. And
okay.
Pops needs to go to vamp school.
Clearly. He goes to the wrong vamp school and he's like a burlesque performer. Like, Pops, no.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Pops, yes. Get it, Pops.
Pops vamp school. Okay. So then I think it's a sword swallower. Somebody comes in.
It's the sword swallower. You're allowed to say it however you will wish.
Okay. He goes into like, Victor, you're on. He's like, no, I won't perform. Again, Victor making the worst decisions. What does Victor think is going to happen? I don't understand this. He's mad that they're mozzarella. I don't know what Victor's mad at this time.
He's being withholding old guy who's like, I hate, damn you rock and rollers. I don't know.
But they're back in the show. The other performers are like,
I know.
You're good.
He seems like a salty little man who's like, I'm the star of the show.
True. Oh, that's right. Susan says he is the star performer.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess he's just the ego prima donna of the circus. I guess they have them now. And this guy appointed himself to be.
I guess so. So Davey comes
He's like,
out.
I know what I'll do. I know what'll do it. Yeah.
Because he's worked with these people. He knows these egos. He's like, hey, everybody, I'm Victor. And I'm going to throw some knives because I'm super practiced.
I'm going to possibly kill Susan.
And then he drops a knife. And then he says, don't worry, I've got plenty more knives.
Honestly,
that was great.
That was great. That was perfection. I don't worry, I have more knives. That's not our worry, my guy. I loved it.
Oh, that is a great line. So, and then Peter like puts an apple on the poor girl's head, and
yeah, let's make it worse.
just like I'll murder her. That'll get Victor out. Like, Davey, what is your plan? And he actually threw a knife. He actually threw a knife. So Victor would have been well within his rights to just come out and just punch Davey in the face. And then what is Pops doing? Pops is like, oh well, that's my daughter.
Well, that was my daughter, Susan, my least favorite child.
Pops has it.
You saw her; she was moody.
So emotional. Ugh.
Oh my God, this was his long-term plan to get rid of her. Maybe he took out. This was a crossover with Murder, She Wrote years later, where actually there is an episode of Murder, She Wrote where for some reason Jessica Fletcher is at a circus. It's this whole thing. It's very much like this, minus the monkeys. Mm. And there was so much of that where I'm like, you know what? We got Jessica Fletcher in here. She's going to figure out how Pops got Susan murdered for the insurance money. It's this whole thing.
Wow.
Pandemic hasn't been good to my brain.
No, I can see it. Doesn't she ride a bicycle in the opening?
Everywhere.
Okay, yeah.
She doesn't have a driver's license.
Oh, so she's like biking by the circus.
No, she travels. That woman travels. Anna Dare starts publishing books because she's like, oh, is it good? And then the next episode, she's like, well, I'm working on my second book. Like, I've been watching Murder, She Wrote. Anyway.
All right.
So for once again, can you get me out of here? My brain's betraying me.
I've never watched an episode, so I'm just fascinated.
It's wild.
Okay, so let's see. Where am I? Where are we? The knives. Oh yeah, Victor comes out. And then Davey's like, haha, see, I knew it. I knew I could do it. See, they didn't even miss the Mozzarella Brothers. Apparently the Mozzarella Brothers were on the bill.
I know.
And the crowd didn't even notice that they didn't show up.
I don't get how, like you said earlier, how many days has it been? Is this all the same day? Was this over a week? They do so many costume changes and then the performers are all in their performance gear, so there's no clue.
Yeah, you're right. Like nobody's changed clothes. Oh boy, this is a confusing episode. All right, I have a doggy next to me trying to get my attention. And
hell yeah.
I don't know what she wants. Okay.
It's probably love and treats.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's what they all want.
All right. So, then Pops is like, oh, well, it's time for your act. And they're like, what? We don't have an act. He's like, oh, well, then you should do what you do best. And they're like, Pops, I get it. And we cut to a soundstage somewhere else where
it's so wild.
Where the boys are performing She. Are they in suits in this one? Yeah, I think they're in suits.
I wrote, suddenly we're in a studio and we're in suits, I guess.
Yeah. Soundstage. That's the word I was trying to think of at the beginning of the, okay.
Look at it. I'm telling you, pandemic brain is real.
It is real. It's terrible.
It's not as bad as COVID fog probably, but I'm telling you, it's real. We're doing our best.
Hi, I'm sorry, everybody. All right, so, and then they cut to the weird stock footage of the audience apparently watching them perform She, and then we see Pops and Susan dancing and doing like cool 60s dances where it looks like you're just kind of wiggling strangely, or like maybe you have to pee. I don't know. It's
a lot of white people dance
yeah.
thing where you're like, it's the illusion that I have rhythm.
It's very strange.
It's a groove where you're like, I could just like free flowing dance, man. And you're like, I guess it's dancing. I guess at least you're moving.
Yeah. And we see the circus folk dancing, and this is where the juggler lady has her cool. It's like a top on a string. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the giant oversized yo-yo, but the yo-yo part's not attached to the string.
Yeah. I don't know how to describe it, but she's doing that. And then we have like stock footage of acrobats, and then stock footage of elephants for some reason.
Well, it's because they couldn't afford to get any of the animal wranglers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But the trapeze thing, it keeps cutting to trapeze artists while they're in studio, and I'm like, where are we?
Yes, where is this happening? Who knows? And then we get to the end of the song She, and we have applause, and we have the bumper music. Ba, 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 ba. And then you think, oh, that's the end of the episode. Nope, we go to romance music. Boo, new, 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 new. And Davy and Susan are kissing.
He's getting some smooches.
And then the little person clown is just tugging at Davy weirdly. Dude, like, that's inappropriate.
Hey, yeah, pick your moment. Now's not that moment.
Yeah, now is not the time. He's busy. He's like, here, I wanted to give you this key as a memento or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they all get weird circus gifts, and let's start with the guy who's making out.
So he gets a key. The sword guy. Oh yeah, we're back to the sword guy giving Mike a sword and saying, maybe you'll learn to swallow it. And Mike's like, what? I don't know how to do that. Because he's forgotten that there's a trick. So I don't understand. And then the sword guy demonstrates and then acts like it's stuck. And then Mike is all freaked out by it being stuck.
Yeah, it seems like the physical properties of all of the objects that they interacted with first. So this is like our weird callback thing to all that.
Yes.
And suddenly all the physical properties have changed where the sword's no longer collapsible. It's a real sword and it got stuck. And then
the strong man goes to give Peter the weights because he carried them so easily before. But now, of course, Peter cannot lift them. Can't lift the fake weights. Yeah, so that has changed properties. And then the lady, I was like kind of weirdly excited because I was like, oh, I don't remember what Mickey gets. I could not remember. And so we cut to Juggler Lady, and she's like piling pins and like a lion head.
Yeah, she just gives him a whole bunch of stuff. Just piling it on him like in The Jerk where he's just carrying way too much stuff.
Yes, totally.
That's how much stuff she's giving him to hold.
And there's like a lion head.
Yes. What did she say to him?
She says, like, I guess in case the music career doesn't
You can start your own circus.
You can start your own circus. She's so impressed with their clowning skills.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if anyone could start their own circus, it would be these guys.
True.
I mean, but I mean, what was weird is I'm like, wait, you all are giving away your essential props.
That's true.
And this is like, she gives him the little devil stick thing, yo-yo, and all this other stuff. And then Strongman's like, here, take my weight, the thing I use for my strongman bit. What did they do? Well, I guess she's trying to say we're all out of the clowning business. You guys actually have to start a circus.
Yeah, you ruined us, by the way. We're out of the biz. What?
It was just so weird.
It was weird. And Mickey, and it turns out Mickey's on a unicycle.
Oh, yeah.
He unicycles away into the corner. I don't know where this is. Where
just out of frame. That's all we need you to do.
Right. And then it crashes near Susan and Davy, and and she gives the line that I didn't even write down because it wasn't that interesting the first time. this episode. When the clown gives Davy a key, she's like, "Oh, I was just thanking him for helping." It's like, we don't care why you're kissing him. And then when Mickey crashes into, she does the same thing. I was just thanking him. And then that's the end of the episode, everybody. Boo.
Oh, no. And then it's like, well, can you thank me some more?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Again, boo. What a terrible line to go out on.
Well, also, I'm like, you guys have nothing in common. I mean, okay, I guess they just wanted to shoehorn. Well, here's our hottie of the episode. She's going to be with one of them.
Exactly. And it's usually Davy.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I just didn't get it. Cause I'm like, I don't understand why she would even care. I mean, maybe she was grateful or something. Like, thank you for, can't some of the people just be friends? Can you not be friends with women?
No, somebody must fall in love every single episode.
Well, and then you're like, but no girlfriends stick around. It's just,
of course not, because that would interfere with the fantasy of all the girls watching.
Maybe one day I can be a sad circus daughter.
Yes. Sad circus daughter. And that is the end.
Oh, but then I wanted Kellogg's so bad after this episode.
Yes. So the version that we watched had the Kellogg sponsorship.
And they each get their own little cereal mentioned.
They do. And I love that Peter gets Apple Jacks because I loved me some Apple Jacks.
Oh, boy. So did they used to do that a lot with just...
Yeah. There are some episodes where you can see different colognes because I think they promoted, I want to say like Black Label cologne or something.
Oh, boy. No, Wind Song? Or is that later?
No, I don't think it's Wind. No, there's some kind of I can't remember what kind of cologne. I used to know. I don't remember.
Karate. I'm trying to think of all my like early 70s references. Yeah, and some of these aren't.
I can't remember what it is. It's something. It's like, I don't know. I can think of a Sex Panther, and that's not real. But it's based. The advertising is similar. It's basically. Yeah. They also did some Kool-Aid commercials, although that doesn't show up on the credits. But usually I either see the Kellogg cereals or the colognes. I think. I don't know. There might be another one.
Just wild. I think you might have converted me to actually more giving a crap about the Monkees, which I can't believe. Because I'm like, this show is bananas. Why is no one talking about it? And I'm like, oh. Well, the podcast I listened to was talking about it. Because
it's amazing. It is an amazing phenomenon that honestly formed my sense of humor at a young age.
I do love those quick jokes, though. I will say, I mean, and now that I've, from the couple of people I know who watched the Monkees, I'm getting it mostly from my mom. So I'm telling you, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this show is for me. You got another convert. I'm coming for you. YouTube.
Yay.
I'm gonna be looking a bunch of those up.
One of us.
Heck yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on. I don't know where. Oh, there she is. Hello. I could hear her, but I could not see her. Okay. Alrighty.
Just like Susan, the sad circus daughter.
Sad circus daughter, Susan. All right. So we are at the end. Now, you already gave away who your favorite performer was in the episode. You said it was Mike.
Oh, yeah. Mike, you stole the show with your no accent work. I loved it. I mean, I will say that I really love the Mickey he's just good. Now that I see him being this funny on here, I'm like, why was he not? I know he's done some acting, but how is he not doing more acting? Yeah. This guy was hilarious.
Very funny.
Enjoyable. But yeah, I think Mike, you got that wink, you got me.
Yes. Oh, the wink, the power of the wink. I really think this is one of my least favorite episodes, and I don't know. Maybe the juggling lady. I kind of liked her because.
Wait, which one? The one with the white corset?
Yeah,
no, that was. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I call her juggler lady. I don't know what else to call her. Because like in one of the cutaway dance scenes, she does that kind of flip, that assisted flip with, I think, the strongman, like flips her over. And she's very
Once again, there was a lot to watch in this episode. You know, just being a circus one, they're going to want you to have, you would expect to see things happening in the background. And I'm trying to look at everything and I'm going,
yeah, there's a lot. But
nope,
she gets flipped over, you know. I'm sure it's like some like basic cheerleading move or something, but it looks like she's like walking in place and he flips her over upside down. It's really cool. And then she has that cool top thing that she's dancing with. I don't know. I like the...
Oh, she had some style. I was here for it. Yeah. I mean, I would have rather her had more lines than Susan. I'm like, I mean, she was some dead weight.
Yeah.
I could see why Pops doesn't give a shit about her.
Oh my God. So hard on some. I'm starting to feel bad for Susan. All right.
I'm sure life was tough for a beautiful woman. Oh, how was it for you, a woman, in that episode of the Monkees?
Okay, now I've got to look up who this poor woman is that we're like...
Oh, no. Don't tell me she's dead. I'm going to feel real bad.
Girl.
She's going to haunt me.
You know how old the show is, right?
But I mean, you know, she could have been really young. I don't know how old she was when this happened, so...
Okay, let's see. Donna Bacala is her name. Let's see. She played Susan. Yeah, we know that. She was just 22 years old.
Okay, so she was a youngin'.
I'm trying to read this bio. And is that her only credit?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, somebody wrote like a mini biography. And
she was just there while the circus was in town. And they're like, put her in.
No, okay, I see her. There's pictures. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, she might still be with us because she did a video game voice in 2007. I mean...
Good for you, Donna.
I think she's still with us. Let's see. She was on... Oh, yeah, she's been working. All right.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good for you, Donna.
She did
I'm glad you got better.
Days. She did an episode of Gunsmoke.
Oh, of course.
She did an episode of The High Chaparral.
I've never heard of that.
She did an episode of The Streets of San Francisco. I remember my dad used to watch that on reruns. The Mannix. Barnaby Jones.
Oh, boy.
And then like in 1991, there was a TV series of Zorro. I don't remember that.
Nope, neither do I. I mean, I remember the young Indiana Jones thing, but
yeah,
could not... No. So Susan never got an origin story. They never did a spinoff for her. Sorry, Donna Bacala.
No. So yeah, and then like her last credit was 2007 for that video game. She was in something called Brain Scan in 1994. What is that? It's a movie? Looks terrible.
Probably was.
Wait, an interactive trip to hell?
Oh boy.
Eddie Furlong was in it.
Oh boy.
Frank Langella. Okay. Wait, I gotta read the description. Wait, what does it say? A teenager is part of an interactive video game where he kills innocent victims. Later, the murders become real. Who could have seen that coming? Oh boy.
Takura, we are getting piped in all the way from Ohio. The woman who loves the Monkees. Mom, can you say hi?
Hello, I do love the Monkees.
Hi.
Hey, we're the Monkees.
Woohoo!
Hello, what are you doing?
Mom, I'm recording a podcast and I'm going to call you back later.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just going to tell you something real quick, okay? Because Melissa called me and she goes, "Are you busy?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm cooking dinner." She goes, "Oh, okay, I'll call you back." I says, "Well, how long is it going to take?" She goes, "It shouldn't take too long because I can't remember what I was going to ask you." I know. I knew you'd like that. Anyway, bye. I love you.
Bye. I love you.
Oh, that was a great addition to the episode.
Well, also, I honestly, I was just like, oh no, that vibrating, it's going to be picked up by the mic. And then I went, oh, you know what? Perfect sample for someone to get a chance to hear my co-host, who is my mom.
Yeah.
So it was one of those, I'm like, well, come on, she'll be quick. She respects the podcast world now a little bit.
And what is the name of that podcast?
This does not bode well for our podcast. Is the name of the podcast. Honestly, we recorded like on maybe 12 before I started releasing them. And she just kept saying, anytime she would come up with something, and we would pretend to fight, I'd just go, well, this doesn't bode well for our podcast. And so it became a running joke. And she's like, no, why don't we just name it that? She's like, I made cover art. And I'm like, oh boy. No. You got to do what the mom says.
That's like,
no, but my mom's hilarious.
Twin flop. I don't know how do you abbreviate that? Twin.
Oh, there's none. And I was also angry about that. I'm like, Mom, there's no way to shorten this.
I think twin flop is the closest.
Flop.
Twin flop. All right, everybody. Where can we find Twin flop?
We're actually on Spotify and Stitcher, I believe, and then anywhere that you can get Apple Podcast, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff, SoundCloud. And there are links. Just go to anything at Julia WD Harrison and you will see links or tagged posts or something. And if you can't figure it out from there, don't listen. We don't need you anyway. Well, I'm just kidding. We actually are doing a recap podcast, but most of it's my mom and I talking about our collective childhood traumas.
Oh,
and
boy.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, most episodes will go almost 15 minutes before I'm like, Mom, we have not even talked about this episode yet. She's like,
what show is it?
Stargate SG-1.
Stargate.
Oh, my God. If you haven't seen it, Stargate is somewhere between, Star Trek and the campiness of some of that stuff, and then also being a sometimes very serious show. And I keep trying to make connections to Buffy the Vampire Slayer every episode. We're trying our best.
Okay.
But we still have to, before we're done, I'm done talking about my crap because I want to talk about who I'm going to kick in the shins.
Oh, right. Yes, that's on the list. That's coming up. The Mark Leonard game, Park Coffee Shins Bank. So which monkey would you go to the park with? Which one would you have a coffee with? Which one would you kick in the shins? Better not be Peter. And which one will you rob a bank with?
Okay. Since Peter, I didn't get to know much about him this episode, and he's kind of quiet, might be the best one to rob a bank with.
Okay. Interesting.
Might be, I talk too much, so I think he'd let me just talk, tell him what to do, and he'd be fine with it. Okay. I mean, we'll have to see. I am going to kick Davey right in the shins. You think you're cute, Davey? I'm going to take you down a peg. Woof, right in the shins. Yep.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to miss one. We got coffee and park, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm going to sit in that park with Mike. We're just going to sit in the park, baby. And
practice accents. Yeah.
Hello, I'm from France, I am. And Mickey, you're fun. We're getting coffee, baby.
Nice. Well,
we're getting coffee. We're doing it. And I'm going to talk to you about how I kicked Davey in the shins and how fun it was. And I'm paying for it with my bank money.
Oh yeah, nice.
I'm going to tie this all together.
It's all coming together.
Oh, we're going to have to do a monkey fanfic episode sometime.
Oh boy. Maybe not. I don't know about that.
Come on. It'd be fun. I didn't say erotic fanfic. I said fanfic. Okay.
All right, just fanfic. Okay,
it's not getting weird.
Okay, cool.
I have things that I think they could be doing if the Monkees were today. We've got green screens. We've got so many. It's going to be so much more affordable. We don't have to stay just at the circus. We don't have one shoot. We're going all over the place. Telling you, we're going to do it.
Perfect.
I love how he roped you into that. You're like, oh, I'm going to yes and this. Please don't ever check up on that.
Okay. All right.
You are the best.
This dog is going insane. Oh, she heard me say dog. She is so smart. She was like, what? What? You're talking about me? Yeah.
She's got a Julia meter that's like, Julia's been talking for far too long. Maybe she should get her own podcast. Oh, she does. And She talks too much on that one too. You are the best, and I can't wait to listen to the rest of these. And I'm actually going to start watching some of them. So you go take out your dog, and I'm going to go watch some more Monkees.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This has been a very exciting episode. We had dog interruptions. We had mom interruptions. This has been wild.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thank you, Julia.
Takura, you're the best. Thank you.
Julia was the best.
I love you. Bye.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Subscribe, leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Find us on all social media at Monkees Podcast. Support the show by getting official podcast merch at dragonwagonshop.com.
Let's talk about it. Jake Lloyd Bacon here to tell you about my podcast, Elaborate, in which talking about it is exactly what we do. Listen, it's not super high concept. It's a talk show. I sit down with artists, actors, comics, and more, and I just try to connect. I try to explore the human condition, figure out why we are who we are, and how the hell we got here. It's a conversation. It's an interview. It's not exactly therapy, but it is often very therapeutic. So check it out. You might get something out of it. It's called Elaborate, and you can find it at elaboratepod.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's Dragon Wagon.